Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Conversations on Quantum Tribe, where we talk about consciousness, we talk about epic relationships, sacred prosperity. And today I have a very, very special guest with me. Nabawiya Rahiman is a holistic health practitioner. Do you think that it is possible to use your mind to actually heal your body? We're going to try and answer that question in this podcast today. Um, Nabby, welcome. We lovingly call her Nabby. You have this basket of tools, right? Reiki and aromatherapy and reflexology and massage and all of these things. I want to know what inspired you to start this journey.
Oh, I think it's how much time do you guys have? It's 50 years of a journey, you know. And I think every part of your journey inspires you to change direction and move, I think more towards your authenticity and what sits right with you. So I started as an interior designer after I finished school. And then I got married, moved to Sasselberg, and there was no scope for interior design here. But I always connected with medicine. I come from a family of doctors, but I didn't resonate with, the orthodox medicine. And
Yeah.
I decided that I would like to do this in a roundabout way. So I went to London. I spent time with my friend there who was studying homeopathy, and she was studying at Imperial College. And I was so inspired by their entrance requirement. So here in South Africa, and well, I suppose in a lot of places in the world, what do they want? They want math, science, this and this and that, and there they said that as long as you had enthusiasm, that was the only requirement necessary. And that blew me away, the mindset. And I met
Yeah.
people there studying in their 50s. And the story that really inspired me was a husband and wife couple. They were studying homeopathy in their mid 50s. And as a South African, we always tend to have this mindset of, you don't think you can do anything past 50 or actually past 30 because your window for learning had stopped. You should
Yes.
have chosen your career. You should be in a path of learning, or you should have completed your basic learning. And these people, I asked them, so why would you decide to study now? And they said, they got married young, they had children, they had to take care of all their responsibilities.
Mm.
And the way they figured now that the children are out of the house, they can do exactly what they please. And so that's where I was inspired. They said, even if we have 10 more years to live, we're going to do it in the way we love. And that's where I started realizing it's never too late. It's never too late to study. It's never too late to change direction. It's never too late to do anything, you to reinvent yourself. And I was so excited about this idea. And that's where my big journey started. But what do I want? How do I want to be different? And if I wake up tomorrow and I feel like being somebody else, why not? So,
I love that. Hey, it's like stepping into your true authenticity, which is fluid sometimes. Like
yes,
you said, you keep reinventing yourself, and I think you and I are both lifelong learners.
goodness,
Um,
yes. And
so
you've
so
inspired me so much, Cass.
oh,
You've been a
thank
huge
you.
part of my journey and continue to be.
Thank you for that, Nabby. So for those listeners that have not heard the term psychosomatic before, can you just give us a simple explanation of what that is? Psychosomatic healing.
Right. So psycho comes from the word mind and soma from body. And there's always an interrelationship between the mind and the body. It doesn't matter which comes first, the mind issue or the body issue, they are always connected. So the integration between mind and body. And when we study those illnesses, we always find that there's a connection between the two. That when we treat somebody, we always tend to just look at the physical aspect.
Yes.
But the reason why people don't completely heal is because they've left out the other part, the emotional side of it, the mental side of it.
Yes. So let's take maybe something that is common. What is the most common ailment that people come to you with?
So I find, physically, it is the shoulders. People come
Mm.
with head, neck, shoulders, back.
Mm.
I find that the most common one.
Okay.
It's very interesting breaking it down.
Yeah.
There are many common diseases, like we could go into deeply diabetes, but people think, oh, you only have to have a psychosomatic illness when it's related to some big disease.
Yes.
But a simple thing like head, neck, shoulders.
Mm.
So, first of all, let's look at what's involved in it. It's
Mm.
the spine, okay?
Yes.
And if we look at the spine, what is that? That is the first part that is formed in your body. So, it's the
Right.
structure of your universe.
Okay.
Okay, because the skeleton, the axial skeleton, is the first thing that forms the head or the cranium, and then the spine, and then everything else fits onto it.
Right.
So bearing
So
in
that's
mind
your
that's the
foundation.
structure of your universe. That's your
Right.
foundation, the structure of your universe. Then the neck, what does it do? It's movement.
Mm. Yes.
Okay, are you being flexible about something? What's your flexibility? When your neck starts paining, start thinking, when did this happen? And what am I being inflexible about? What am I unable to bend about? It's paying attention to that.
Yes.
Then if we go further down, the shoulders,
Shoulders.
carrying the weight of the world
Yes.
on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And what do we all do? We all have burdens that we bear,
Yes.
taking
Yes.
care of others, especially if you're the breadwinner. But not only a breadwinner, a mom taking care of her family, that's also bearing burdens. It's you shouldering a lot of
Mm.
responsibility, you
Yes.
know. And I think there's no person that can get away from that. Even a child going to school has to shoulder the burden of that responsibility.
Mm.
And then we go to the middle back. The middle back, I mean, that's a lot to do with movement of the arms and things like that. But if we look at the back alone, we're looking at what are we feeling guilty about? Somebody is on my back. What are
Yeah.
people watching you for, expecting from you,
Yes.
and how are you feeling about that? So we think guilt. Okay, what should we feel guilty about? Something big again, like I murdered somebody, I stole from somebody. But go again simple. What does a mother feel bad about? I shouted my child yesterday. It's simple things. Oh, I should have done that report. I should have done this. We feel guilty
Mm.
about small little things that start backing up, and it's backed up on the horse's back, so
Yes.
guilt. And then the lower back has to do with finances.
Yes.
What is my security? The steadiness of the hips. Because now if we look at that part, your pelvic girdle, it's attached to the spine again. But it's the structure that keeps you steady on earth. It makes
Yes.
you, the fact that our spine is curved, it makes us bipedal, so we stand on two legs. But that standing on two legs is supported by the central part, which is your hips. Okay. And the hips bear also a burden, okay, from the upper and lower. And what burdens are we bearing? It's a control center. Like, people it's common with sciatica. the sciatic nerve being pinched in the lower back. And it's also the pelvic twist.
Mm,
So, how are we able to twist in life? Are we
mm,
fluid? Can we twist enough? Then going back to the butt area, it runs from
yes.
the sciatic nerve, runs from the lumbar region into the gluteus area, and then it runs down the leg. But in the glutes, what is that? It's our center of control.
Ah,
Am I in control of my life? And how many people suffer with sciatica? Now, all of these things, if we look at them holistically, isn't that the most common stuff that
mm,
happens?
mm.
And we never address that.
Yes, correct, correct. So I'm guessing there's a lot of trauma that gets stored in the body as well, like in the muscles, in the skeletal system, in the fascia.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
So if, and when we talk about trauma, it's not necessarily the big trauma.
yes,
Most people experience the big trauma once, maybe twice in their lifetime, where it's like
mm,
you witnessed a serious crime, or there's war in your country, or lost someone in an accident, being
mm,
raped. These would be the big
yes,
traumas, right? But the little
yes,
traumas are things that people go through consistently, but we don't even label it that. Like
yes,
being a child that was neglected. You didn't
yes,
really get your parents' attention or love or the emotional support. All
mm,
of those kind of traumas, or in relationships, where you're feeling misunderstood or invisible or even abused by your partner. There's all of
yes.
these other traumas. So, how does this trauma get stored in the body if we are not consciously dealing with that? Um, in terms of understand, okay, I have this trauma, this is where it comes from. Let me heal, release, forgive, then find
Mm.
myself, and then move forward. So if we're not doing that process, it's going to be held
Stuck
somewhere
in
in
the
the
body.
body, right? So
Yes.
how does that happen?
Okay, so many systems of the body become involved in trauma, or trauma in the body is related in a stressful way. It's what we
Mm,
commonly say stress,
yes.
and we use that term quite loosely. I find that a lot of times we just say, "Oh, I have a headache because I'm stressed." But what does that exactly mean? What is
Mm,
stress? Stress is the body's response to internal and external factors that are hitting your body, that you
mm,
are experiencing. So, um, now if we look at what is ignited in the body during periods of stress, we are running away from a saber-toothed tiger. That's first of all what
yes,
the body's interpretation is. It
yes,
says, oh my God. So even if you're not conscious of it, your body is very conscious. And
yes,
your body is saying, I'm running away from a saber-toothed tiger. Oh, I'm not feeling
yes.
okay.
So that's the
Your,
sympathetic nervous system,
that's
right?
the
The fight,
sympathetic nerve.
freeze, or flight.
That's
Yes,
right.
right.
So it's perceiving a threat.
Yes,
So when the body perceives a threat, it has to do something.
yes.
Now,
And
what
the
must
threat
it
could
do?
be your mother-in-law, visiting. The threat could
Exactly,
be,
exactly.
yes, it doesn't have to be that, there's a war coming. It could be that.
Yes,
Yeah.
no. It could be that. It could be I need to deliver a presentation at work.
Yes.
There's so many stresses, but
Or
it's
a
a
big bill
collection
coming
of
in.
those. Yes.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
so, so what I find is that now, if we talk about the body's response to stress, so the endocrine system, the hormonal system,
Yes.
gets involved, and cortisol is the hormone that is always involved with stress.
Yes.
So if we look at it, what does cortisol do in the body? You start breathing heavier, okay, because now your heart and lungs need to pump faster so that you can run away from the saber-toothed
Yes.
tiger. Okay, so then you start feeling anxious. So this is a response that the body interprets, this is the way it will think, I can only cope if I raise the blood pressure, pump faster, because
Yes.
now I must prepare the body
Yeah.
for a stress, and survival.
Yes.
So that's one of the first things that will happen. Your eyes become light sensitive because now you have to see this image clearer. Because now, if you're going to run away from the saber-toothed tiger, you got to see him clearly, and you need to see where you're running clearly.
Yes. Yeah.
So the pupils dilate, and because they're dilating, it lets in more light. And then your eyes become sensitive to light, and you feel like, oh, everything is just too bright. So that's one of the first telltale signs that some
Right.
kind of stress is going on.
Right.
Then digestion. Now, it's very logical if you think about it. The body will say, ah, now, what is more important? Digesting food or running away from the saber-toothed tiger? Because if the saber-toothed tiger catches me, it's really not going to matter whether my food is digested or
Yes.
not,
Yeah.
you know? So it
So
becomes,
survival first.
it's a survival first.
Yes.
So the body says, slow down digestion. And why? Because digestion is the most energy consuming activity of the body. So if you're spending time eating and digesting this food, you're not going to have the energy to run away. So what happens? All the energy goes to the your extremities,
Extremities.
your
Yeah.
arms and your legs.
Yeah.
That means everything going on in the torso, all the organs in the torso are not being nourished
Yes.
because everything's going to the arms and the legs. So the other functions of the body are being neglected.
Mhm.
And those are just like a few of the most common things the body does. But then also you hold stress in your muscles. So what do? We tense up. We
Yes.
clench our
Jaw.
jaws.
Mhm.
Even sleeping well, people think, oh, I snore because, my nasal passageways or I'm laying on my back. Do you know one of the least acknowledged things is stress because you tend to lock your jaw and your jaw slides into a locked position. And so you can't inhale and exhale properly, and that produces the snoring effect as well. We just tend to look at one aspect, but
Mm.
that locked jaw is also one of the things that will happen. And why does it happen at night? Because in your conscious state, your body's still coping, but at night, it wants to relax. And every stored trauma kind of comes out at night. Then people shake in their sleep or have restless leg or, again, like I say, the snoring. But there's so many things that happen. We also tend to sleep stiff or we curl up because we want to comfort ourselves. And all of that is a postural malalignment that causes daily aches and pains. But when somebody comes to you and they say, I have lower back pain, we'll start off with, okay, what's your posture? And then we work our way towards, is there anything that's troubling you? Are you worried about finances? Are you feeling like you're not in control of something?
Yeah.
And then, you go deeper. Is it the right side of your body? Is it the left side of your body? Is it the feminine or the masculine?
Yes.
Is it something from the past that's bothering you? Is it something in the present? And who or what is doing that to you? And most times it's our own perception
Yeah.
that's doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Okay.
No.
Oh, you've explained that so beautifully. So it's almost like there's a puzzle, and
Yes.
you finding all the little pieces of this puzzle to create a picture that would be the picture for that particular person. Because obviously, no two pictures are going to be alike because our traumas are not the same, our stresses are not the same, our
Yes.
body composition's not the same, the DNA is not the same. So it's going to be
Yes.
quite an individualized process.
Yes.
Okay. But are there things that are a common thread? Like, for example, if we take the common ailments like diabetes, high blood pressure, what's the other common ones?
Um,
Heart disease, cancer,
you know,
those are the most
digestive
common.
disorders, digestive disorders, like, if we look at
Yes.
even like mild to severe obesity,
Yes.
that's also common. But
Right.
and people don't realize how connected it is to the emotions and your interpretation of
Yeah.
trauma,
Yeah.
you holding, or constipation, big thing as well.
Holding on, not letting go.
Holding on,
Um,
not letting go. What
yes.
can
Yeah.
I not
Yeah.
digest? What am I struggling to process?
Yeah. I've always looked at obesity as layers of protection that we put on.
Yes.
So, do we feel unsafe, whether it's in a
Mm.
relationship or at work or in our ability to take on responsibilities and things like that? So, we create layers of protection. But I recently found something else that really made me
Mm.
sit up, and that
Yeah,
obesity is also when we don't express our gifts fully. So
that's
those
brilliant.
gifts are actually stuck in the
Stuck.
body, waiting for you to step up into your soul purpose and deliver those gifts. I thought that was
Yes.
interesting as
That
well.
is absolutely powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think as time goes by with psychosomatic, you like this is a deeper truth, like,
Mm-mm.
not able to express and let out those talents. And why? Why don't we do that? Because we don't trust ourselves.
Yes,
We think we not capable of doing something like that. Kaz, I've noticed something, and I'm sure you've experienced it a lot as well. Um, it doesn't matter how educated you are, you always feel that I'm not good enough. You always think
yes,
somebody else
yes,
has more knowledge than
yeah,
yourself
yeah,
or more expertise than yourself. Why is it that we don't trust that that's a gift that we've been given?
yes,
Yes, sure, we study, but it's also a natural inclination towards something. Why is everybody not a psychologist? Why is everybody
yes,
not a life coach? Why is not everybody a healer?
yeah.
So if it comes to you naturally, it must mean that it is a skill, it's a passion, it's a gift, it's a
Mm,
talent.
mm,
But
mm.
we don't trust that.
Yes,
You'll
yeah.
think we second guess ourselves. And I think that's also what locks into the body.
Right, right. And I think it's because of the conditioning, isn't it? We trust the piece of
Yes,
paper or the title before the name to
yes,
say, now this person has studied this and therefore is an expert in that field. But
mm,
honestly, if I want advice on let's say losing weight, getting to your goal weight, being vibrantly healthy, I'd rather go to someone who has walked that journey from where I am to where I want to be. So if someone is
yes,
overweight and they started off there and they were really frustrated and they realized, hey, okay, I want to take my power back. I want to do this, but I want to do this naturally. I want to use my mind, my emotions, the food that I eat, the
mm,
exercise. I want to bring everything together and I want to get to this goal weight. And if they've done
mm,
that, I'm far more likely to follow that person because
yes,
they've lived it, they've walked the
yes,
journey, they've made the mistakes, they've learned from that,
yes,
you know? And is there
yes.
something in your personal journey that makes you you're such a compassionate person when you're working with people. I think you're patient. It's like almost like a sacred, intuitive process of knowing where someone is and what they need to focus on in their lives. And is there something in your life that has made you into this person that is so giving and wanting people to heal and really live in their full potential?
I think, Kaz, over time, there are many things,
Mm.
but for me, there have been two things in my life that have really hit me hard, and I had to take a deep look into myself. The first one was a divorce. Okay. And when you hear about a divorce, you think, oh my God, it's trauma enough. And my ex-husband, Shami, was very special. He made the divorce extra hard. Okay. So, it doesn't have to be a difficult
It
process.
doesn't, yeah.
But that journey of experiencing the stress, the trauma, the injustice,
Mm.
um, it eventually led to the next big thing that happened in my life, which was being diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago. And I think that was the second. And actually, if I look at it, I think the best thing that could have ever happened
Okay,
to me,
yes,
that diagnosis.
yeah.
Because what does it do to you? Now you suddenly think, and cancer is associated with terminal, and my life is going to end now. It's just a matter of when. So I have this huge sense of humor. So I'm like, okay, but now what's the big deal? Because I knew I was going to die anyway. I just didn't know when. So now why are we all acting all dramatic about this? It is um, a logical, there is a logical way to tap into myself to heal. And so that was a big journey. And I've decided I'm not going to do chemo. I'm not going to do any kind of mastectomy or any kind of cutting out. I want to heal myself. And I know it's possible. And I do this work for a living. So I was very irritated with myself, to be quite honest, because I thought, well, how could you not see this? How did you not know this? And I was hard on myself. And I started thinking about it, and I realized, you know, with a divorce, I did not process anything. I actually just survived it
Yeah.
because now you get divorced, and what do you have to do? You have to carry on living. You have kids. You have to support. There's so many, especially being an Indian woman. It's so diverse. You're a mother. You're a daughter. You a sister. There's a lot of things that come with it, and then trying to build up a career, trust in yourself. You don't have time to process emotions.
Mm.
I mean, there's zero time to process emotions. You just get on with it. So the diagnosis said, oh my word, you didn't process anything. So my body was saying, let's process this thing nicely
Yes,
because you've just been ignoring me
yes.
and now I can't anymore. So I want to bring also the listener's attention to something very important. By the time an ailment actually is manifest in the body, it did not happen yesterday.
Yes.
Your body can't take it anymore. It's over a period of 10 years or more that you're holding this energy within you.
Yes.
And then when the body cannot hold it anymore, it manifests.
Mm.
So don't think, oh, I just got cancer yesterday. No, 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 no.
Mhm.
Go back.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah.
What are the traumas that were in your life?
Yeah.
And then I couldn't, when I was sitting with myself and I'm thinking, okay, now what is cancer? Cancer is a resentment
Yes.
for something. I could not work past the word resentment, Gaz. I could not. I'm thinking, no, but I'm a happy person. How is this possible? I don't resent anyone. And then I told myself, okay, what do you know about the body? It never lies. So let's move past the word resentment because you obviously hitting just block after block. What is the next thing you need to look at? And I said, okay, it's on the left side. The minute I said left side, I'm like, aha, my feminine. My feminine is wounded. And I found myself having the self talk all the time. I'm tired of being a man. Can I not just be a woman? The good Lord made me a woman. Can I not just be in my feminine? When something breaks, it's my business. When, everything is on me, earning money. When can I just let go and be a woman? When can I just enjoy being a woman. And then the breast, what is it? It's an organ of mothering. So it's not that you resent being a mother, but you take care of the whole world and you're not nurturing yourself. And that's another big thing I learned, that the self-love. Um, I was extremely disrespectful to my body. So my body said, Nabby, you're tired. I say, yes, okay. And then I carry on for another 5 hours. You hungry? Oh, yeah, okay. And then I ignore it completely, carry on with something else. And then you're eventually so hungry that you stuff yourself with anything you find. You're eating junk. You're not nurturing your body. You're not loving your body. You're not loving yourself. And that over a period of time, you realize, well, how did I expect my body to cope? I was disrespectful. I'm not giving it fuel. I'm not giving it love and attention. What did I expect? I'm not a victim here. I'm the perpetrator.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I created
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And there had to be a complete mind shift.
Mm,
Like, even though the divorce was stressful, my ex-husband did not tell me, you must interpret this whole experience in pain and trauma. And I chose that. I chose it. I'm responsible for it. So if I brought myself to this point, I can take myself out of this. And that was my mindset. And that's the gift that the diagnosis gave me. I never say I have a disease, and I encourage others to never say they have that as well. There's no ownership in it. It is a messenger who has come to point you in the direction of healing. Are
yes.
you willing to listen to the message or not?
Yeah. I like that about the message. Um, I always say everything in life is happening for us, not to us. And the moment we
Yes.
can look at something that is a challenge in our lives right now, whether it's a physical ailment or it could be a relationship or a financial issue, and then we say, how is this happening for me?
Mm.
And that's what starts the healing journey. That's what gets us to take our focus off the outside world where we're blaming other people, and we bring it
Mm.
inside of us and we say, who am I? How am I showing
Yes.
up? What do I
Yes.
believe about this? How did I draw this to me, attract this to me? And I think it's so
Yes.
powerful when we start asking those kind of questions. And I also like what you said about, if you have a diagnosis of cancer now, it's not today. It
Mm.
started a while ago, right? So first we
Mm.
get this whisper that's coming to you on the spiritual level that, hey, you need to pay attention to how you showing up or how people are treating you. You're a people pleaser, or
Yes.
whatever the message is. It comes in a subtle level, but then we don't pay attention. It's got to come into the
Yes.
mind level. So now it's like these thoughts that are going on and on and on, and now we're
Mm.
getting irritated with other people and we're annoyed, and we still
Mm.
don't deal with it on that level. It'll come into the emotional level where now we're starting to feel, whether it's anger or fear or irritation or guilt. All these
Yes.
emotions will start coming up. If we still don't deal with it, it is going to show up in the physical body,
Yeah,
right?
it
And then
is.
they have to come to Nabby and say, okay, this has showed up in the physical body. Now I can't ignore it anymore. I ignored it on the first three levels. Now I cannot
Yes.
ignore it. So,
Mm.
Nabby, in that line of thinking, right?
Mm.
What advice would you give to somebody if they just got that diagnosis today? So it's a
Mm.
cancer, or it is, oh, you have high blood pressure, you've got to take this medication for the rest of your life. You have diabetes, and, if they've just received this now, what advice
Mm.
would you give them?
The first thing I always ask people when they come to me is, they'll give me their history and I'll say, okay, but what do you want? What do you want for yourself? What is it that you don't worry what your diagnosis is? Don't worry about anything. what is it that you want for your life? Do you want to be well? Do you want to heal? Do you want to be in perfect health? Do you want to be in peak health? What do you want for yourself? And once you can answer that question, and it sounds like what a stupid, simple question is that? Of course, I want to be well, but do you really want to be?
Mm.
Because a lot of times we get attention,
Yes.
even be it negative
Yes.
attention.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything serves us. So we get an ailment. Why? Is it because and we keep it? Why? Is it not? Is it because we want to stay sick? No. Logically, no, it's not
Mm.
that.
Mm.
Nobody wants to be sick.
Yes.
But what is your payoff? Is your payoff that everybody around me is going to fuss? Because what happens when you get a cancer diagnosis? Everybody around you is saying, oh my God, she's going to die. We better be nice to her. We better enjoy time with her. So what are you getting? People start mothering you. Okay.
Mm.
So isn't that what
It's the
happens?
love,
People
the
want to now take care
attention,
of
the
you.
nurturing,
It's a
and we're
love. It's
getting that.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because now you've been giving it to the whole world.
Mm.
What happens? You get the mothering then, and you're kind of coming full circle. You've been subconsciously asking the mothering. You could have given it to yourself. You could have given that mothering to
Yes.
yourself. But now you're manifesting so that the outside world, and again, why do we want the outside world to validate us?
Yeah.
So that's why the question, what do you want for yourself?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And be brave enough for any answer.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
if it
Yeah.
is, no, I like being sick,
Yeah.
because I get this attention. Because you can work from that authenticity. Okay. So that's the first part.
Yeah.
The second part is understand that healing is a journey.
Mm.
It's it can be spontaneous, you can heal
Mm.
spontaneously,
Mm.
nothing stopping you from that. But understand it's a journey. The journey to knowing yourself is never ending. And let me tell you, I've never had the most amount of fun as I did since I've started this journey, diving into myself, learning about, oh my God, I do the stupid thing that I used to do when I was a kid. I don't need to hold on to it anymore,
Yes.
but I still hold on to it because I'm addicted to the person I was or that particular trait, not realizing that it was for survival that I held on to that. And I'm not the same 12-year-old now. I
Yes.
don't need to hold on to traits. So figuring out, I'm going to enjoy this journey from conception to present day
Yes.
and dive into it,
Yeah.
no matter what truths come out. For me, that is crucial in your healing process. Understanding that healing is a journey. It's going to be continuous till the day you die.
I love
And
that,
if you,
Yeah. I
yeah,
love that
and
because
if,
I think too
mm,
often people look for a quick fix. I have this
yes,
problem. What's the tablet that I can take to make this go away? And in
precisely.
that case, you've lost the opportunity to completely
Yes.
free yourself because it's freedom
Yeah.
from those limiting beliefs. It's freedom from those dense emotions that you've been carrying, freedom from all the
Yeah.
conditioning. It's freedom to finally
It is.
find yourself and stand in your own power. I think it is the
Power.
most exciting journey. And we
It is.
deprive ourselves of that journey when we look at it and say, oh no, this is a now huge burden, and we give away our power and we
Mm.
behave like the victim. So
And
yeah,
that's a
thank you for
trust issue again. It's a big trust issue because, this is your body. You
yes,
know what's wrong with
yes,
you.
yes,
Even though you say, no, I don't, a doctor will know what's wrong with me. No, I'm sorry. The doctor only knows as much as you give him.
yeah,
We hide a lot. We don't tell the truth. So we expect and we think, oh, because he studied the body. Listen, a doctor, I have great respect for every person who studies for such a huge amount of time. But remember, at the end of the day, that, like you beautifully said in the beginning, People are individuals. They heal on different levels. The doctor has X amount of time with you. You with yourself all the time. You know
Yes.
better.
Yes.
So the doctor just has that amount of time. Now you trust that what he says is gospel. You've not decided for yourself what path you would like to take, but you give your entire life into this man's hands who spends maximum half an hour with you.
Mm, mm,
And then he gives you pills, and then it didn't help you or it doesn't help you. And then it's all lovely to say, ah, the pills didn't work,
mm.
and maybe criticize the doctor.
Yes.
But what part have you played in it? You just popped the pills.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But have you looked at yourself? Have you changed your diet? Have you changed the way you do things?
Mm,
What have you changed? This is where I come in. What is your accountability to yourself? What is your
right.
responsibility to yourself? Your well-being is your business. You can go to somebody to point you in the direction of healing because, yes, sure, we are lost a bit because we immersed in that problem. We sometimes can't see clearly. So somebody can guide you. People like you and me, Kaz, we can guide people. A
Yeah.
doctor can guide you, but that responsibility remains yours, and that accountability, and that is your power.
Oh, beautifully said. This is so empowering to know that we have this much power within ourselves,
Yeah,
but we don't want to claim it for some reason.
we
We,
don't.
we don't want to say, hold on, I can't, I'm not going to give all my power away. Yes, I want the guidance. Yes, I maybe, I can't diagnose myself, so I want that. And then I will take my power from there. And yes, you want the doctor there, you have the doctor there. But together with
Yes,
that, where's your
it's
responsibility for that? Because
ability.
if we don't take responsibility and we don't make those internal shifts, we don't forgive where we need to, we don't release the shame and the
Yeah,
guilt and the fear and the blame and all of that, then
yeah.
that ailment, even if it's something that's cut out of your body, it's going to come back
Come
in
back.
another way.
And that was my thing from the beginning. I'm like, so what do we do? Even a layman, this is the power of indoctrination. A layman on the street, Kaz, if you ask them, how do you treat cancer? What is he going to say? He's going to say you can cut it out and you're going to have chemo or radiation. That's how well we've been
Yeah.
indoctrinated. We don't see another way out. But and your journey is entirely your decision. I'm not saying don't go have it cut out. I'm saying, okay, you cut it out, you do chemo or radiation, but there's a missing link. It comes back because you did not go to the root cause of the trouble.
Yes.
And that's why it mysteriously comes back. Because when I asked the oncologist, okay, so why does it come back? All your websites have this info that it can come back between 5 to 11 years. Why? He says, we don't really know. And I said to him, well, you know why? Why it comes back? It's not that the cell just decided to be special and mutate
Yeah.
and then grow at the speed of light. No, it's because we did not go to the root cause. We did not visit that part
Yes.
because now we're just looking at chemicals. We are multifaceted. How can we just choose one part to deal with and we don't visit the others?
Yes.
The integration is not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to heal, you have to integrate. You have to.
Yes. So it's the
And that's how
body,
it
the
stays
mind, the
gone.
emotions, the soul. We look
Yes.
at all four aspects, right?
Yes, definitely. We cannot leave out anyone because they all integrated. If we think, and I think that is a bit of the failure of our medical thinking nowadays, that you just treat the physical body because it's a machine, you treat that. But there's a link. If we can see it with, say, a heart attack, I mean, a heart attack,
Mm.
people say, oh, you need to do lifestyle changes.
Mm.
People buy into that so easily.
Yes.
Why don't you buy into it for every single disease and disorder?
Yeah.
Not only for a heart attack does the body communicate an emotional stress,
Yeah.
every other aspect of your life,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like how
And
open
our
is your
bodies
heart, eh?
point us, yeah. Our bodies point us in the direction of healing. It's not a life sentence. It's not a
Mm,
punishment.
yeah.
It's a conversation with you. Why won't we listen to it?
Yes. Because, when I look back, I always say my greatest challenges were my greatest teachers.
Yes,
And I know I wouldn't be doing what I do today without those challenges there. But
yes,
I think now and it's not like that forever.
mm,
I think we need to
yes,
understand, if you get to a point where you make a decision, like you said, you're a lifelong learner. When you get to
yes,
that point where you make that decision, hey, I'm here, I'm present, I'm conscious, I want to know, I want to learn, I want to grow. So then you don't get hit with those massive challenges because you
yes,
want to. So you look at relationships and you say, how can I create the best possible relationship? You look at
relationship.
your health, how do I create the best vibrant health and well-being for myself? The mindset.
Yes,
You look at your work, how can I excel there? So you're consciously learning in every aspect of your life. You're growing, you're showing up, you're figuring out what are my talents? How do I take that and how do I bring it into my work? What's my sole purpose? Why am I here? I think it's the most exciting journey we could ever embark on.
it really is, Des. Knowing yourself, I think that there can be no better journey than the journey to know yourself.
Yes,
To
yes.
dive in, you need a lot of courage,
Oh, yes.
and it is fun, and
Yeah,
you never stop learning.
yeah.
You
It
tap
takes
into so
courage,
many parts of yourself. It
that
takes
that
courage.
moment when you find out how you've been sabotaging yourself for the last 30 years and you in a heap sobbing your heart out. It takes courage to do that.
It does. It
But
takes
on
a
the
huge
other
amount of
side is your
courage.
freedom.
Yes. And you know what I find fun? Laughing at myself. Like, geez, you thought about this today. Wow.
Yeah,
I never saw that coming. Or, and when you start being light about everything that you're finding out about yourself, that's self-love.
yeah,
Like, I accept you. Doesn't matter you're silly, shame. Or, it's all okay.
yeah,
You're allowed to be silly. You're allowed to be serious. You're allowed to be, um, you know, weak.
yeah, yeah.
You allowed to be strong. You allowed every human emotion.
Yes.
But be kind to yourself. Say it's okay.
Yeah.
What can I learn out of this? It's
That's the
okay.
total self-acceptance, isn't it?
Yes.
Knowing I'm on a
Yes.
journey, it doesn't mean that if I accept what is, I'm going to be stuck here. I'm just accepting that on this journey, this is where I'm at right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because tomorrow things will change. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
your perspective. And from the time I started this journey, and not only with the healing, but way long ago, you read snippets from the time you younger, and then you build on it, but your experiences shift you, and you keep on moving in different directions.
Mm.
And for me, it's you guided towards your destiny. You guided towards your power.
Yeah. Nabby, does somebody come to mind like who really stepped up, took responsibility, did the inner work, and experienced a healing? Does someone come to mind that without giving away names, of course?
Yes, I'd say I have actually two clients that I've had who have shown amazing results from where they started with maybe not trusting and believing in this journey so much to completely healing. And this was from, having um, fibromyalgia,
Okay.
suffering on a daily basis,
Yes. Yeah.
to releasing all of that stuck ache inside of them
Yes.
and living a completely healthy and fun life. So, that has been an inspiration for me.
Yes.
That, we think certain things you're doomed forever. But just by shifting, by being open, and it's taken a long time, but the person is there now. Like I say, healing is a journey. You also will, we are ready to only sometimes take little teeny bite sizes. But now, because they feel the results, they're flowing, they want to learn more, it's never stopping, and they keep on diving. And another important thing is healing is not linear. Once we've passed something, it doesn't mean we're not going to come back and visit it. It's a spiral. So we come back to deeper truths. And we think, oh, but now we probably didn't heal because we should have been past that. No, no, no. We always come back to a deeper truth. It's a spiral. Takes you deeper and deeper
Yes.
into yourself.
Yeah. 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 And I know, like, when I look at my own journey, like each time I went through that spiral and I came
Mm.
back to something and I saw deeper truths that I didn't see the first time.
That's time.
And
Yes.
it just meant more freedom, more authenticity, more
Yes.
reclaiming that power of who you are and that ability to then help other people.
Yes.
It can
Yes.
only happen when you really, you're in the mud, you're walking,
Yes.
you're stumbling in the dark, and then you come out the other side, and you can then guide someone that they don't have to fall down 10 times in the mud because you create a pathway for them,
Yes.
with
Yes.
what you've
And
learned.
that is growth. And I feel our soul's journey is expansion.
Yes.
That's what we're meant to be doing here.
Yes.
And then we lament it. The Hadida agrees.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
Nabby,
and we
this has
lament
been,
that
I think we
journey.
can talk for another 10 hours.
Yes,
I think we
we
must
could.
we must do another episode. But for now, what message would you like to leave the audience with? There's something about you that you want to shout out to the world, to wake people up to see things in a different light. What would that message be?
The first thing I would say is just live fully. Enjoy every minute of life. Learn from everything. Learn from a bug walking on a blade of grass. Learn, just absorb, live fully, be present. Enjoy being you. So just being would be the
Yeah,
first big thing. Just, we hear this is a blessing. Life is a blessing. Live it, feel it, feel everything, and take accountability and responsibility for everything in your life. It yields a power that nothing can match it.
yeah, yeah. And I think you're the living embodiment of that. It's not
Thank
just what you
you.
say, it's who you are.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Nabby, thank you so much for your time, for being with us, for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences with us. I'm going to leave your contact details in the show notes below. So, anybody, if you feel that you're ready to take responsibility for your life, for whatever ailments you may be having right now, or discomfort, and you feel I'm ready for my freedom, but I want to understand and I want to be like Nabby, I want to be light about it and happy about it and learn from it and just step into your fullest potential as a result of that. Take the gift. I will leave the email address in the show notes below. Thank you, Nabby.
Thank you so much for having me, Kaz. I've really enjoyed it.